last person to hit the bar, that's it. Your job.
duties.
Off you go.
I've got a challenge and a punishment.
Yeah.
Great. I'm so glad I came here today.
Welcome to Find Your Force. This podcast is here to help you find your career potential. I'm your host, Hope, and in this season, we're talking all about sport and how it can help you find your true career calling. Whether you're taking the first or next step in your career, our advice stories are here to help you find your force. In this episode, we're tackling the topic of rugby. I'll be speaking to Chelcey and Em about how the sport can help you find your career potential. They'll also be putting me through my paces on the pitch. Let's go. Do you think had you not played football, you'd be as good as you are at your job? Yeah, how about I just did pedals and you did the wheel?
Well, you need to let go of the pedals first.
Come on, that beat you. I'll go for a rest. Whose idea was it to do this outside, hey? Hello, you okay? Yes, thank you. Good, I'm fine, thank you. So, we're outside because we're at somewhere that you know very well. Chelcey, thank you for your time today. Chelcey, why rugby?
So I got into it post-pandemic, really. Yeah, so I used to play football and then left uni, then started rugby just because I wanted to give it a go. And the skills are very transferable. So, yeah, just thought I'd give it a go. And yeah, here I am.
Talk to me more about those skills. Which ones transferred over?
I think like looking for space on the pitch was a big, and the fitness was a big one. Just generally, and the team aspect of it. It was just quite an easy transition into it, I would say. But yeah, obviously it's a lot more physically demanding, I would say. Yeah.
Bit more rough and ready.
Yeah.
Do you like that aspect of it?
Yeah. I don't think you could play rugby if you didn't. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to.
Stick to tag rugby if that's the case.
Yeah. And that is hard work. Touch rugby is tough work, to be fair.
Em, what about you? Tell me about your journey.
Basically sat in a tea bar at work watching one of the World Cups and was like, you know what? I could probably do that. So I looked onto the modnet at work, found out that there was rugby league, and I was like, well, okay. I turned up and here we are.
What about it appealed to you and what made you think I can do that too?
Just smashing into people, I quite like that. Gets rid of your aggression. And it's like the teamwork as well. Like we work like we are a team. Do you know what I mean? You can't get anything done on your own. It's always like, always got that person beside me that's going to go with me and things like that. I think that's great.
We'll talk more about the team side of things in a moment, but you touched on the word aggression there. And that makes me feel like in terms of mental health, if you're struggling with something, it's a good outlet. Is that the case?
Yeah, so my job can be quite stressful sometimes, quite like high intensity, fast paced. So, you know, sometimes you're on a rough day or a week at work and that, and you've got that one day where you go training and you just let it all out. I just feel it's a lot like a decompression for me. I quite like that.
And what is your role at the moment?
So I am an aircraft technician, so engineering profession.
Is that always what you've done within the Royal Air Force?
Yeah, so I've been in the Air Force for 15 years. And so I've done it the whole time, working on various platforms, various aircraft, and in various sections. So I've worked on aircraft and within the structures bay and an oxygen bay. So my roles change drastically.
Well, that is a good thing about the Royal Air Force. You can move around, can't you? What about your role, Chelcey?
So I'm a nurse. So I did my nurse training before joining the RAF. I've not been in quite as long as Em. I've only been in roughly about 4.5 years. So I think from a different sort of aspect, nursing is obviously quite emotionally demanding. So for me, rugby is sort of to be able to just, whether it's training or in a game, just like switch off that time and you've got nothing else to focus on. It's just like that sense of, I don't know, just focus and relief. So yeah, that's what, for me, sport is a massive outlet.
In some way, they're a little bit opposite, aren't they?
Yeah.
As a nurse, you're helping people get better. In rugby, you're taking people down.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Is that another thing that you enjoy about it? The kind of stepping away from one role and then doing something else?
Yeah, I guess so. I've never really thought about that. It's a bit sort of Jekyll and Hyde, isn't it? But yeah, no, it's just, I think the physicality of it, I think there's a mutual respect between everyone. You're not going out to hurt people like at all. it's like a joint respect from everybody. You're there to play fair, but you play hard, and just go for it.
Being a nurse, I imagine, is quite demanding as a role. So how does the Royal Air Force allow you to spend time doing that, but also playing rugby?
So I think sport is just highly recognised in the RAF anyway. So they recognise it as duty. So it obviously depends on what's going on and things like that. But I've found wherever I've worked, they have been really supportive to get you out there, because I think they do see that it is a release and it is like an outlet for people. And also you're representing the Royal Air Force. So it's not just seen as like a hobby. Even though you go and you're having fun and you're hanging out with your friends and teammates, it's quite widely respected. So I've found that they're more than happy to release you for it if it is classed as duty. So you have backing from your team as well if anything does crop up.
Anything to add on to what Chelsea just said there?
I think I get the similar treatment for myself, but sometimes the role that we have does require us to go away and things like that. So sometimes, if it needs be, job does come first. So sometimes we do have to step back, but the same, if they can, they will try and work it so that we can get away to do the sport that we need to.
So we've spoken about being a team and kind of that understanding and working together. What other skills does rugby give you that helps with your job role? Chelsea?
For me, it's definitely boosted my confidence, and especially from like a leadership point of view. So I was lucky enough so I play union and league. Last year I was actually selected to be captain, and you have like that additional responsibility. So it was being that sort of voice for your teammates, but then the voice for the coach, passing it down to the teammates. And I think the confidence that I got through, whether that's my communication skills, discipline at times, and just generally like leadership skills, and I definitely, that was a major part. So I've actually gone for my commission, which is to become an officer in the Royal Air Force, and I think I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for what I've been doing in rugby.
That's amazing to hear that it's given you that. It's kind of it's pushed you, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And what's it given you?
I think same. It's given me a lot of self-confidence and the ability that I have got, and to pass that knowledge on to others. Do you know what I mean? So, and within the team and within the RAF, communication is key, and I think it works a lot on the pitch, on and off the pitch. Using that's really developed me as well.
Do you have to communicate not only verbally when playing, but you have to kind of know your teammates and know what they're thinking? Is that a thing?
Having a rough idea of their positions and where they should or shouldn't be helps, and knowing that person is going to be with you when you run up, that really helps us. Pretty important.
What's your position?
So I'm a prop.
Okay, what does that entail?
So mashing into people, you're supposed to find the gap, but sometimes the gap's not there, so you just gotta go through them. But for me, it's key to have that person to come with me, because on my own, I can't make as much of an impact as I can if I've got that person with me to offload or, divert the tackle.
And Chelsea, what's yours?
So in RAF Rugby Union, I'm a winger. In RAF Rugby League, it's called a half. So there's two halves, and it's equivalent of a 10 in Union, or a hooker, which is the equivalent of a scrum half in Union. But for my civilian team, I'm a winger as well.
Now, you can probably tell I'm total novice. So what's the difference between Union and League?
The biggest difference is, so in Rugby League, you have basically 5 attempts to make yardage. And then if you don't, you basically hand the ball over or you kick the ball. So tackle is called, and then you play the ball. Whereas Union, if you're more familiar, you place the ball. So you'd have people rocking over, trying to get it. Yeah, hard to explain.
Which do you prefer? There's a question.
I like both of them as much as each other for different reasons.
Oh, on the fence. On the
Political
fence.
answer.
Is it hard sometimes to get the motivation to do the training? Because I imagine the games are more fun, maybe?
I love it. I love training. I'm one of those really irritating people that turns up to training absolutely buzzing. I just love running around. But it does take an aspect of discipline because especially like this kind of weather, we play summer.
It's lovely.
Yeah, we picked summer rugby for a reason, but I think when you're passionate about it and you're the one thing that we sort of all work towards is inter-services. So that's when we play against the Navy and the Army. It's like our biggest fixture of the year. And the collective goal that we all have drives us to want to back each other, train, support each other. So we only get to meet up once a month for a week. So it's like intense that week. But then you've obviously got all that individual time to work on the areas you want to. And you have to find the discipline to do it. But at the end of the day, you know that you've got your teammates in a month and you want to go there and just perform to the best that you can really.
And do you get to spend time socialising with your teammates outside of being on the pitch?
So that's probably one of the main reasons you all do it.
Yeah, work hard, play hard. I think that's what they say, isn't it?
Yeah.
What kind of things do you get up to?
Maybe have a couple of pints after a game. Yeah. And to be fair, we also socialise with the other services after inter-services. So we go into it with such passion and there is that competitiveness and we do want to win. But yeah, when you've all put everything you can on the field and then you go and have a drink with all together, it's like everything's forgotten. We're all in the armed forces and then we'll tend to go off with our team and you'll have something. But we have, during the training weeks, we are all tired very much. So we'll do like socials such as like board games, quizzes, go out for family meals, all that kind of thing.
So would you say that if someone joined the Royal Air Force just for the career aspect, getting involved in sports is a massive way to build your network and community?
100%.
Yeah.
I think in the time that I've been in, if I hadn't have done sport, I wouldn't have met people outside I would never have met a nurse in my trades. It's like the furthest thing, unless I got hurt, obviously. But I meet so many different people, so many different trades, and they're all like-minded because they are in the RAF, but then slightly, as a techie is different to a nurse is different to int, things like that. It's so many different people, but we're all just
But we also spoke about changing roles, and maybe you'll be exposed to different areas that you hadn't thought about pursuing yourself, and then you're like, oh, actually, I could do that as well. Do you find that?
Yeah, I think one thing is the variety of roles that we have. Obviously, it depends on what you do and where you can go. But like, for instance, at the moment, I'm in the careers office, so I'm actually supporting current candidates through their like recruitment journey. And I think an aspect of that with the meeting people in different professions, if I've got a candidate that's going down a certain route, I can contact one of my mates and be like, so day to day, what are you doing? Or can you contact this person? And everyone's like really supportive with it. But I never thought I would be able to do that kind of role. And I know that there's other roles that you can do which will only like sort of bolster your own sort of professional portfolio as well. So mine's very admin and engagement, and I would never have thought I would be able to do something like it within nursing. So it does give a lot of opportunities outside of your role.
And your teammates obviously are helping you in your daily role, which is really helpful as well. Talk to me about the elite performance scheme.
It depends on what level you perform at. So me and Em will be on the high performance athlete scheme. So because we've represented it into services, myself, I've played for UK Armed Forces. It's effectively, there's like a layer of protection and recognition. So if you need to go in a camp, or you know that you're going to go away on deployment, but it clashes with the league season or union season, the Rugby Association can liaise with your chain of command to say, okay, they can't go during this period, but would you recognise they can go at this time? And there's that kind of opportunity. And sometimes you have protected leave as well. I know some of the uni girls that are on the elite scheme, so they don't work. So the level that they're playing at, so for the girls that play for England, Scotland, Wales Rugby Union, they don't work at all. And they do a lot of engagement, and that's because their whole time is spent training, playing, and obviously, but they're representing us as they do it. So some people might have seen Amy Cockayne at the World Cup. So she's always at the end because she has to stand to attention when the national anthem comes on.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's her representing us, and obviously as a team we're so like proud of what all the girls are doing, like from the World Cup and Six Nations. So yeah, it depends on what level you're at and then what category you come under.
But it just goes to show how much appreciation, respect and encouragement the Royal Air Force gives people who do sport, isn't it? To have that protection.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell me the most challenging thing you faced within your rugby career.
Injury management.
Okay.
Obviously, I like to smash into people, as we said, but that can lead then to injury. So it's contact sport is you're going to get knocks, you're going to get little niggles, and it's just that managing when you can and can't continue, or if you are injured significantly, like how to rehabilitate that and just keep going, not going, oh, I've hurt myself, that's it, I'm done, no more. It's pretty intense, isn't it? Playing rugby, they're equivalent to a car crash sometimes when you're going in the tackles. So that's the hardest bit for me, because I'm obviously considerably older than some of the players, so it takes me a bit of time.
So even the physical injury itself is rubbish, obviously, but then the mental health side of it, the kind of you're having to be patient, resilient and determined, all of those things and then some.
Just to keep going, yeah. But you've also got like the guys that are on the WhatsApp group or chatting, like Chelsea comes to see me, you're like, yeah, you're doing well, keep going, you'll get there in the end. It's all that big. So yes, you've got an injury, but the whole team sort of helps you through it, which is good.
Chelsea, what's your favourite thing about the sport?
Oh, I think it's the social aspect, but not in that work environment. So it is work and it is duty, but it's the fact that you're in work's time and you're playing rugby with some of your mates. It's
not
amazing.
many employers would allow you to do that.
No, exactly. When I speak to my mates and my civvy team, they're very jealous that I get to go away for the week and getting paid to do it.
Do you have any role models?
Rugby league, I would say Alice Fisher. So she is in the RAF, and she played for UCAF and she plays for Bradford Bulls, so rugby league team. Like when I first started, like she's a forward as well, same as me. So I'm like, that's where I would like to be at that sort of level.
Yeah. So many, like the girls are just absolutely smashing it at the moment, and especially in Union, the standard is so high. I've already mentioned sort of the international players, but I would say Lucy Nye. So she plays scrum half, Rugby Union, Leicester Tigers, and just, yeah, she's an absolute pocket rocket. She's everywhere. She punches above her weight on the pitch. Some of the contact and her work rate is just outstanding. Yeah, but watch her as a player, and yeah, she's an amazing player.
And we spoke about injury setbacks. What did that give you that isn't in line with work?
I think it helps give you perspective in that, not everything's going to be perfect all the way through. Sometimes you're going to get, I don't know, maybe applying for a different job or things like that. And, you're not always going to get it. And I'm not always going to be fit. But then you just work around that, improve what went wrong or rehab what is injured, and then move forward.
So it kind of gives you a perspective of time. There's always this future. If time is long, you can do something again, it can get better, or resilience as well.
Yeah, sometimes, being injured you're in it for the long game. It's not instant, but you will get there in the end.
Chelsea, have you had any examples of setbacks throughout your kind of career and life?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I did my GCSEs, I got pretty average GCSEs. Wasn't sure what to do, so I went down the A-levels route. Didn't get on with A-levels that well. Didn't really want to go to uni. Just didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. And I think to a point you're a bit sort of lost, because all my friends, they applied for uni, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. And I was in that sort of zone of I'd done with education. I just wanted a break from it. And I've worked a variety of jobs before I sort of went down the healthcare route. Spanning from, I've been a dinner lady, I've sold furniture, I've done all sorts. But Yeah, and then became a healthcare assistant, and that was it. I found what I wanted to do, and then looked into the Royal Air Force and nursing within that, and yeah, that gave me that drive to apply for university, go to get my nursing degree, and I went to uni when I was 25, so I didn't grad till 28, and then I joined the RAF, and I was one of sort of the older people in my phase 1 training, and I just think no matter where you are, and I was thinking, if I join uni at 25, and I was like, no matter where I am in 3 years, I'm going to be 28. So why not do what you want to do? And yeah, I definitely found my passion, what I wanted to do, but it took me a long time to get there. And yeah, I think the fact and the RAF can now sort of develop me even further with the courses and qualifications that I can gain, that, which when I do eventually leave the RAF, it's going to have bolstered my CV even more.
Yeah, because your CV is going to be pretty long for all the other jobs. But sometimes you have to do different things to realise what's not for you, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And you think you learn something from everything you do. And I've been made redundant twice from different jobs, but all the different skills that I've collected from that got me to where I am. So I would never ashamed or ungrateful of any of the jobs I did, because it's all made me who I am, professionally and personally as well, I guess, today. So yeah, I'm thankful for everything that I've done.
And are you grateful you didn't rush into things? You didn't just go to uni because everyone else was going. You actually took the time to get to know yourself and get to know what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I see. I know exactly what would have happened. If I went to uni at 18, I would not have come out there with a degree. I would have had a great time socially. It would have been great, and I would have partied and had fun. But yeah, I think going to uni older for me, I was so focused because I knew what I wanted to do, and I worked so hard. I never ever thought that I was going to get a degree. I'm the first person in my family to have got a degree. So yeah, the self-confidence and pride that I got, I don't think I would have got that if I went younger. But obviously that for me anyway.
How far can you take rugby when you're working for the Royal Air Force?
So for me, being new to rugby, my goal would be UCA. So that's the United Kingdom Armed Forces. So that's when the Army, Navy and Air Force get all together and play against other teams. So that's as far as me personally I'd like to go. But there you do have the ability to go further than that, don't you, Chelsea?
Yeah, you do. So again, I think it depends on what you want to do as an individual. So you could just play station level sport, but if you've got that drive and passion for it. So for myself, I've successfully been selected for the Wales training squad for Rugby League this year. Yeah, and so I'm focusing on trying to get that first spot to play against England in November. But to be honest, without playing for the RAF, I don't think I would have got to where I am without it. I think what I've learned and the player that I've become, I do owe to the Rugby League team. So yeah, it's the opportunities are there, and I've found the RAF Rugby League Association, I've spoken to them about potential postings, and they're there to support that, so to allow me to go and train, because rugby league isn't professional, so it doesn't have that elite availability for ourselves just yet, but they're there backing me and supporting me. So yeah, the world's your oyster, really.
Yeah, what I'm hearing here is it's down to the individual and how far they want to go. The Royal Air Force will support you.
Yeah. If you want it, you chase it, you can get it. It's all within the grasp.
Yeah. Right, so it's now time for me to be put through my paces. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie to you. What challenge have you got in mind for me? Be kind.
Crossbar challenge.
Crossbar challenge?
Yep.
No idea what that entails, but let's give it a go.
Let's do it.
Go for it.
Did you know a career in the Royal Air Force will provide so many opportunities? You'll receive world-class training which will allow you to learn and develop throughout your whole career. The Royal Air Force provides countless opportunities for young people. Go and check out Life at the Royal Air Force. It's just a tap or a click away from this episode. Said the challenge is a crossbar challenge. What is that?
So aim is behind the white line, kick the ball, try and get it in a oneer to hit the post.
So not
To be the middle post.
So I'm trying to actually hit the post, not go over.
Hit it.
Hit it.
The last person to hit the bar, that's it. Your job.
Duties.
Off you go.
I've got a challenge and a punishment.
Yeah.
Great. I'm so glad I came here today.
So you want to try and get under the ball. That's the best way to get it. Get a bit of height on it, not too much height, but you want to make the distance. So you've got to judge it.
Okay.
So you want to guide the ball down, get under, hit it sweet, and hopefully hit the crossbar.
Oh! No.
Right. Pick it up and I'm laying for the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh!
So hold the ball up more and just try and get under it a bit more.
Feel the pressure.
We're all watching.
Here we go. Whoa! Nope. I only got one more to go.
Time you drop and you kick.
Yeah.
I feel like you could tell.
right,
I feel like you could tell me anything and I wouldn't be able to do it.
It's like I'm scared of it. So just think, just envision it and then just guide it down under.
Kick it. Woo! Yes, I did it! I can tell why you like this game. Yes. Oh, love that. Wow. Okay.
Fair play.
That was very exciting. What would you say to someone watching this as a key takeaway from this episode today? Key advice. Go on, Aaron.
Hey, it might not look like it, but if you're into a sport, team sport, and like all those skills that you've got, like communication, teamwork, just go hand in hand with a raft. Like it's just one for one. Simple transition.
Amazing. Chelsea, anything to add? I'm out of breath from all that.
I just kind of say, even if you're not sort of, you're not clear on your pathway, you don't know what you want to do, there's no rush in deciding, and not let sort of outside things influence you. Just do what you want to do, work hard. Think of the skills you do have, like Em said with sport. You don't realise when you actually sit down and think about the skills you do have. And then, find what your passion is and make sure it's something you enjoy.
Well, thank you very much for sharing all your insights and for teaching me how to do that. Yes! Get in! Thank you for listening or watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more episodes like this one and share this with anyone who wants to find their career potential. It is a cliche, but there literally is something for everyone in the air.
She did.
There is.
She did it.
There is.
You read
There's
that?
something for everyone. There is.
I was going to ask you if someone